The innovation really was the use of inclined planes. Inclined planes have been used in other parts of the world where there's canals. I think the Chinese had inclined planes on canals they built years and years ago, but it's a matter of summing up the terrain where the canal had to go. And it's obvious if you look at the geography and the natural features that it was not practical to have inland locks, bearing in mind that the total length of the canal is at least 30 odd miles, and the only locks are the sea lock. Well, the purpose of that is obvious, because that's for access in and out of the canal for the trading vessels. And then the inland locks working up the canal on the broad section, just to allow for the fact that you're going inland and the land is rising, so you've got to allow, you've got to allow to rise the canal as well, and that's how you conventionally do that, is by locks, and that's what they had until you get to Heel Bridge, which is the end of the broad canal. It wouldn't have been able to stay at the sailing vessels, but the original idea was to have these large barges. For that to operate, the tidal system needed to be different. You need spring tides to effectively be able to use the beach as a source of sand. You can take sand off the beach at any time, but you can't use barges to do it. Because when you get into neap tides, because they're smaller tides, they don't cover the beach. So you could have your 20-ton barge sitting out there, full up with sand for 2 weeks, waiting for the tide to come, that's sufficiently strong enough and deep enough for you to float the barge. I mean, you don't float 20 tons of sand unless you've got several feet of water beneath you. You can't do it. And as that's a natural phenomenon, you can't change it, so they had to change their engineering design. That's why you've got a bridge by the sea lock called Iron Bridge. It's a cast iron bridge. That would have been made in the 1820s, I suppose. If you look at it closer, you can see a lot of it is still there. That's when they built the sand railway, right, which was a plateway to start with, about 4 foot wide, with trucks pulled by horses, and the trucks would swivel and tip the sand into the tugboat. The inclined planes, which, like I said, James Green realised, with the way the countryside was going inland, there was no way that you could use a lock system. You would need a major water source, more than the reservoir that they built, which is now Lower Tamar Lake, at the head of the system. To water the whole system, you probably need one about 8 times the size of that to have the water, because lock systems are alright if you've got plenty of water. The incline at Marramchurch, going from Heel Bridge up into Marramchurch to take you onto the tugboat section, 50-foot water wheel, a plane which is 300 odd feet in length, powered by this underground water wheel, which, when you think of it, I mean, it's easy to think, well, you've got a canal, you've got water, we use the water to dry things, but you don't automatically think about having a water wheel that's underground. No. At the head of the plane, which is what James Green, that was his part of it, because the concept of using water wheels and the bucket in the well system was the brainchild of an American called Robert Fulton, who came to this country in the late 1700s when the first canal was being talked about. Well, there were 6, one at Marramchurch, one at Hobbicut, though it would have been known as Thurleby. Going towards the Tamar Lake area, there's one at Beeland, which raises it up. That comes after the Bermsden Aqueduct. There was an incline there. And then going down the Tamar Valley, there was one at Merrifield, North Tamington and Warrington. The one at Hobbicut is the one that is different, in that not only is it the largest plane, it's got a vertical raise of 225 feet, and the plane is 935 feet long. The double plane, they're all double planes, double tracked, and the motive power for that was provided by what is commonly called bucket in the well system. At the bottom, the rails went into the water, so that the boats came in, the wheels went onto the rails, and you've got this continuous chain going round, and a chain from the from the tugboat to the continuous chain that's being powered by the inclined plane machinery. You hook it onto that, and then the drive starts, and up you go.